Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. Hope you're all having a great day today. We're here in Arizona from Phoenix Raceway coming off of our first non-top 10 finish of the season. But yet, we retake the regular season championship lead by one single point over Kyle Larson. It is a brutal battle early on in the season between myself, Larson, Kyle Busch kind of hanging on in the distance. Chase Elliott's kind of weaseling his way into the picture as well, picking up his first win of the season in Las Vegas last episode as we continue the short West Coast swing. So we look at the winners this season so far. Kyle Busch and myself both have 2 wins apiece. Kyle Larson, Elliott, and Brad Keselowski all with 1 win apiece. Ryan Blaney being the top driver on playoff points, at least without a race victory. We had some big news this weekend as well. Trackhouse Racing would make the announcement. They have acquired a 4th charter for the going forward part of this career mode going into season 5 and beyond. So Trackhouse will expand to a 4-car team next season with, of course, that Honda power. Now they really are putting themselves as a dominant or a staple powerhouse team in the Cup Series now. It is going to be exciting to see who they announce into that 4th car now as we focus in on Phoenix Raceway Saturday afternoon qualifying here with the Interstate Batteries colors on the car. We are underway on this run towards turn number 1, a goal of a 26.102. Not sure if we're going to be able to quite accomplish that goal, especially with a really poor exit out of turn 2 up the racetrack nearly into the outside wall as we go down towards 3 and 4. What can we pull off here through the center of the corner? Hard on the throttle on the exit of the corner, open up the wheel to the line, going to be way off the goal, missing it by a half second. That's going to put us way down the field in 22nd place, not where we want to be as a season of kind of frustration, although we have 2 wins, continues. Justin Haley, who's had a miserable season, on pole, joined by Kyle Larson as well. You see Kyle Busch and William Byron inside the top 4. Our teammate of Chandler Smith there in P20. As we do have a couple part-time drivers in the field this weekend, Michael McDowell for Front Row Motorsports is back, as well as Ryan Vargas. Xfinity Series action as well from Phoenix Raceway this weekend. It was actually Carson Kvampel picking up the victory over Derek Kraus, Taylor Gray, Brad Perez, and Sam Mayer. Suarez, Andres Perez in the top 10 as well, continuing an impressive rookie season for him with the Andretti Global team as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen. I can confirm starting next episode, we're going to start showing points for trucks and Xfinity, so stay tuned. Let's get ready to go Cup racing on Sunday.
We're wrapping up our short West Coast swing here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm joined by the Phoenix legend, Kevin Harvick. Kevin, what does it take to be so good here?
It's simple, Mike. You need a car that can wrap around that yellow line on the bottom. You'll win the race that way.
Right, boys. Not looking like it's going to be an easy day today, but just stay with me and we'll keep after it and see what happens.
We'll make it work, mate. Race hard today.
We are ready to go racing here as we continue to pay attention to the playoff picture, the regular season picture as well. Just 16 races to go in the regular season already. Keep in mind 2 less than usual due to that Final 4 now having 3 races here in season number 4. The green flag, it's waving as Justin Haley and Kyle Larson take the green flag. Kyle Busch as well as William Byron 3rd and 4th. Busch been one heck of a season so far for the number 99 Trackhouse Honda, but Trackhouse in general having a solid season. Honda, of course, coming over to help that team and come into the sport themselves, and I think they've chosen a great team with Trackhouse. Of course, it's not been working quite well with Andretti Global yet. Of course, they expanded Andretti Global when Honda came over, but like I said, as we've seen, it's just not quite been working for them. As we come through to complete lap 1, it's only 20 laps here in stage 1, a very, very short and sweet kind of stage. It's hard to kind of get an idea of where your car is in stage 1 now. Just in front of us as VG, Chandler Smith on the outside. It's been no secret so far. It's been a bit of a struggle for Joe Gibbs Racing, Toyota as well this season. We are the only Toyota that has got a victory, and 2 of them to be exact, but Daytona 500 is where we won, and then we won at Sonoma. So outside of that, I mean, it's not been a pretty season. I mean, we have had basically no top 10 pace every race outside of Sonoma, and then of course the 500, the 2 races that we did win. Outside of that, it's not been a pretty season. And last episode we finally finished outside of the top 10, which is quite surprising that we had finished in the top 10 every race beforehand. Another driver that's had a miserable season, this guy right here, the 48 Hendrick Motorsports driver of Rajah Karuth. He's had some speed, but he's had some terrible luck. Last episode he actually made it through a race without an issue, but he was lacking speed, and it looks like he's lacking speed again. Maybe lacking confidence might be the issue there, as it's been such a terrible start to his first full-time season now. As we're continuing to move our way forward, passing the JRM88, Dale Jr., of course, was in contact with us last episode. We are going to be having a meeting with Dale Jr. coming up soon. Lap 8 in that 17th position now, as Haley continues to lead the way, and he has had a very, very rough start to the season. Last season he picked up 2 wins. Most recently he won in Canada, my home racer, and here he is now trying to just salvage what's been, like I said, a terrible, terrible start. Now as we're up into the outside wall on the exit of turn 2, car plowing tight, and here comes one of the Rookie of the Year competitors at third, 2311 driver, that's Corey Heim, and the number 11 Safelite Toyota Camry looking to my left rear as we cross the stripe with 10 laps to go, halfway through in this first and opening stage now, and certainly seeming like, although we were gaining positions right off the bat, it's not looking great now. I mean, we're going backwards. There goes Heim. Now trouble for Joe Gibbs Racing. Our teammate Chandler Smith blows it right front into the outside wall. The caution's going to fly, and immediately it's going to create some split strategy. Some will pit, some will stay out. I am going to pit. We need some adjustments to this car. Chandler Smith will be done for the day. It's going to be DNF, unfortunately, for the 18. It's not been a pretty start to the season for Chandler Smith either. Not even really in the playoff picture right now, but he's still got 16 races to make up for it now as we are back underway. It's going to be 6 laps to go in stage 1, but we're all the way down in 32nd position. Ryan Blaney out in front, but several drivers stayed out, so it's going to make things interesting. You're going to have slower tires up in front now. As a bit of a stack up, we jump all the way up to the outside here as we exit turn 2 down this back straightaway. Joey Logano on our inside. He has had a few races of better fortune recently. Not been great, but he has been certainly running better than how he started the year, and putting himself back into the playoff talk. We find ourselves 3 wide right now, in between Kyle Larson, the driver we're battling for the regular season standing lead right now. Bubba Wallace was there on the outside as well, as we continue to try and march our way forward here. We only have 5 laps to actually make something happen now as we go 3 wide down this back straightaway. John Hunter Nemechek there in the number 42 for Legacy Motor Club. I mean, we're making up positions. There's our number 20 teammate of Christopher Bell. Here's Kyle Busch as well, who we know has a great car. Larson has a great car, started up front, was running up front, as we're right to the back of the DeWalt Interstate Batteries kind of clash together car, number 20 of Bell. Right now it's actually the 17 Chris Buescher who's taken the lead now. He's top 10 in the regular season standings. A very quiet season so far for Chris Buescher. Of course, it was just a couple seasons ago, season 2, where he had such a great season. What, 3 or 4 wins it was, a Final Four appearance. Last season a lot quieter. I think only 1 win on the season he had there. This season a very quiet start as well, but he's been consistent, and that's the main thing for that number 17 team, is the consistency now. As we have fought our way up to P11 and now to the back of colleagues number 16 Josh Berry, and we'll go up the inside of him, and we've really taken advantage of making our way past other cars on the same strategy as us to now the final lap. We're into P10. We are going to get a stage point out of this now. Buescher cruising at this point to a stage win, but this is a huge stage for us because we are certainly not a top 10 car right now. But we found ourselves in P10, maybe a chance to get McDowell at the line as we dive down into 3 and 4. McDowell behind the wheel of the 36. Buescher comes through to win stage 1 over Ryan Blaney. Chastain, Elliott, and Gibbs all stayed out to get the points as well. We crossed the stripe to get McDowell just barely for P9. So 2 points to our name, expanding our regular season championship lead over Kyle Larson to now 3 points total, coming into the night with a 1-point advantage. Everybody going to pit. So the drivers that stayed out really won out because they're going to pit now, and then all the guys that previously pitted trying to beat them all have to come in anyways here now as we get ready. We gain 1 spot here as well in the pit. So P8 behind Ryan Vargas, actually, or alongside Ryan Vargas, I should say, as Chris Buescher leads the field back to the green flag. We are underway for stage number 2, which is about double the length of stage 1. So a lot of laps. Chase Elliott's taking it 3 wide for the lead into this first corner, and he's going to take the lead. Chase Elliott to the point here from Phoenix, winner last week to kick off this West Coast swing. I've gone 3 wide around the outside of Shane Van Gisbergen now, and 3 wide in front of us. Vargas on the inside, Busher in the middle, Gibbs on the outside. How about Ryan Priest for Rick Ware Racing, having a great run? I got the opportunity there to go 3 wide up the inside. Elliott Chastain, your top 2. You got Ryan Blaney running in 3rd. Chastain, Blaney, both still winless on this young season so far, but look at us going forward into 4th. We don't have a 4th place car. That's the concern right now. So obviously a lot of work still to be done on this car. 2 points in stage 1 is certainly something that I'm happy with, but not satisfied with, because I know exactly where our car is, and it's not, a car that's in 9th. And I mean, look at this, really struggling on the exit at turn 2. There was some points in the stage 1 that it happened, and it's happening here, where the car just really likes to take off. The front end likes to just plow, and I go right up towards that outside wall on the exit of the corner, and just really don't know when it's going to happen. You just got to be ready for it now. But dropping down to 5th, and now under pressure as well from the number 54 of Ty Gibbs here, just behind myself as we go down into turn 3, using all the track I can find. I mean, diving all the way down to the inside even right there. Now on lap 7 of the stage. I mean, we've only run a few laps in this stage, but it feels like it's been a lengthy one with everything that's been happening already, but not really putting up a huge fight on my teammate of Ty Gibbs, just kind of letting him have it, say, hey bud, you can have it, you're quicker than me. It's still crazy to think Ty Gibbs now is a Cup Series champion here in this career mode, winning the championship last season in such controversial fashion, and unfortunately it's not been a great season for a lot of Joe Gibbs Racing here now. As you see, the 5 of Larson, he's going to go through and take the 6th position as we continue to slowly but surely drop down the order into now P7. Fortunately, we got some track behind us without much pressure, because there was still some slower cars holding up some traffic, putting us in a pretty good, pretty fortunate position, but we're losing a lot of time to the cars ahead here now. Lap 13 of the stage. Connor Zilish into the outside wall for Andretti Global. He's going to hit it a second time, come back down across the field, collect Todd Gilliland as the caution flies on lap 36, and the Andretti rookie is going to be out of the race. The highest performing rookie so far, not necessarily a surprise, as you see a little bit of split strategy, about 95% of drivers pitting, but Eric Jones, for whatever reason, says, you know what, I am going to stay out on the racetrack and take the lead. Elliott is second. We maintain P7 just behind the 17 Fastenal Ford Mustang of Chris Busher. We're back racing here from Phoenix Raceway now. 24 laps to go in stage number 2. Right on the back of this number 17, Ty Gibbs as well in the mix today. Now certainly looking like him and I, at least right now, the best drivers for Toyota, but I don't think I'm going to be one of the best for Toyota long term here. Christopher Bell might hold that award here now as we go 4 wide with Chastain, Busher, and Gibbs. We slip through on the inside of 3 for 1 special. Thank you very much. Back up into 4th. We got to get what we can on these restarts because we know how this car is. A bit of contact across the stripe there with the 54 of Ty Gibbs. We've had a bit of a run-in very early on in the season with Gibbs back in Homestead, Miami here, as we are both trying to pass this 34 of Jones. We'll split them 3 wide. 19 on the inside, 54 on the outside. Behind us, you can see Chase Briscoe in the middle there between the 24, briefly trying to work his way forward in that 4th RFK car. Now some big names shuffled down the order, of course, towards the tail end of stage 1, both being the 60 of Justin Haley, who's looking to be the fastest car here, although we didn't win stage 1 because of all the strategy. Kyle Larson's very quick as well. He got shuffled down the order. They're both trying to maneuver their way back forward here now as we look to pass this number 54. We slide across the nose and take the position, but unfortunately in the process open the door for the 24 of Byron to go up my inside, and he is going to be able to pass us there in that white Exalta Chevrolet. Byron kind of looking back on form to what he had earlier in the season now. And how about Chase Briscoe through into P4, Gibbs as well to my inside. Suddenly we're once again hitting that point where we're starting to get shuffled down the order. Not exactly the situation we want to be in, but it's just the cards we're being dealt today. And here comes the 60 of Justin Haley, who's been working his way back forward, and he would get to my inside, bringing the second place starter of Kyle Larson with him as well. So they're going to go through into P6, P7 as we drop down into that 8th spot. So not exactly, what we'd like to see. Our car going backwards. How about we got the 11 of Corey Heim just behind us as well. Heim's been having a heck of a run here today. Probably a career run even, I would say. And that number 11. So he's going to go up to my outside now and take the position potentially if it can clear us on the exit of turn 4 as we'll get below that yellow line and just try to get this car to hook up. And we do stay clear of Heim. So we'll maintain P8 for now. But so many cars behind us that are quicker, including this guy, Ross Chastain, that would pass myself here down this front straight into turn 1. This will relegate us down into the 9th position, and his teammate of Kyle Busch, who's been the face of Trackhouse this season, he was what you could call the weak link of the team last season. Didn't pick up a win, didn't make the playoffs, had a lot of DNFs. He's had a DNF this season, but he's won 2 races and right now is in the conversation for the regular season lead. Won't call it a championship yet because it's way too early for that still, with 16 races left in the regular season. As well, we have the mid-season tournament coming up. That's going to be an exciting one to watch here now, as we have dropped outside, unfortunately, of the top 10. Chris Buescher's gone through in that number 17, so down to P11, and we've got a mirror full of Corey Heim and Bubba Wallace now continuing to struggle with this handling, and the 11 would get a run to our inside as we cross the line, lap 29 of 40 here in stage 2. Chase Elliott still leads. Haley not quite getting up there quite yet for the lead of this race now. The 11 will go through and take the position, and now Bubba Wallace as well looking for the spot. He'll get us for P12. Sammy Smith for Andretti Global, the second Andretti car of the day, into the outside wall. He crashes across the nose as well of Cole Custer, and the caution flies. Everybody this time will be finally coming into the pits. We'll take tires and continue to make adjustments as we are still struggling to find the right balance in this number 19. And now the goal is kind of make it to the end of stage 2 and just reassess the situation, see where we are at, because obviously a lot of work to be done here now as we get ready to go for the last 10 laps or so, just under 10 laps in stage 2. Ryan Blaney, he leads the field back to the green flag now as we're right tucked up on the bumper of that number 11. We pull it out to the left, to the inside, 3 wide and a turn 1. We've already talked about it, trying to get everything we can on these restarts, because we just know as this run goes on, we're going to continue to struggle and go in the wrong direction. But Blaney looking for the stage win here now, but still plenty of laps for things to change and happen as we exit turn 4. Can't quite open up the wheel because at 11 being hard on our door. How about as well Christopher Bell, not been inside the top 10 all stage long, just not the greatest day for him as he looks to our outside through turns 1 and 2. We'll continue side by side on the exit of turn number 2 down this back straightaway, and he's likely going to be able to get this position from us here. Now 7 laps to go, coming to 6 to go here in the stage. Now we continue to race him hard. They might be teammates, but yeah, I mean, still nothing. We race hard, but Bell gets the job done, and now that opens the door for the 51 of Priest to my inside as we head down into turn 1. Blaney leads over William Byron. Kyle Larson's back into the mix inside the top 4. Justin Haley, of course, as well, trying to claw his way back in there. Has actually clipped the outside wall on the exit of turn 2 out of turn 4. Now 5 to go in the stage. Carson Hocevar to my inside as we head down into this first corner, wheel to wheel, just barely getting clear of him, however, so we drop back down in front of him. However, a lap later, he gets back to my inside as we head down towards turn number 1. Not an easy fight, and I feel like we've maybe gone the wrong direction, because this is the worst we've run all race long as we exit 2. The 8 goes through, and now how about Austin Cindric for Meyershank Racing to my inside, and that number 06 now as we make a bit of contact. Tyler Reddick, though, into the outside wall. A Toyota crashes head on there the second time, and that is going to end stage 2. Ryan Blaney wins your stage, and very split strategy again. We are seeing a lot of split strategy today at these cautions, and you're going to see myself electing to come into the pits. I don't even know what to do at this point, guys. The car is just terrible.
Stick with me, Gary. We can turn this race around still.
I have a hard time believing that so far, but More adjustments made to this number 19. We give up a bunch of track position in hopes that the car just simply drives better. We're back racing. Blaney, your stage winner, remains on the racetrack without pitting, as we have a lot of cars still that did pitter. Well, a handful of cars, including the 54 of Ty Gibbs, basically Chastain on back, or Kyle Busch on back, you could say, all came into the pit. So about 10 cars, maybe a little bit more, 10 cars, maybe 12 cars pitted there. How about Kyle Larson? Takes the lead down the back straightaway into turn number 3, the number 5, looking for his second win of the season. Won a little bit ago there recently to just really kickstart that 5-team season that they're looking to, of course, get their 3rd championship since 2021. Would be a heck of a feat for Larson now, as we are quickly making our way forward, passing the 15 of Christian Eckes, the 48 of Rajah Caruth. There's Nick Sanchez in the 26 there for Andretti Global, and now going up and passing the 2 of Todd Gilliland, the 33 RCR rookie of Jesse Love. You got Alex Bowman just in front. Bowman's been kind of a grinder this season, just kind of like us in this 19 team. We haven't had the greatest cars, but we've been able to kind of grind out these finishes here. It's still a huge feat that we're even in the conversation for the regular season championship lead, considering the fact that we've barely had cars that are capable of running top 10 for 90% of the season so far. So yeah, it's been a pleasant surprise, but I think if we don't turn things around, we're definitely going to start seeing those points shift into a more of a picture that actually accurately represents how we've been running, and I don't want to see that. We need to find some speed. As now, Logano into the outside wall. Logano blows the right front tire, hits the wall hard. That might be the end of the day for him. We'll have to wait and see, and you're going to see currently nobody else pitting, but I can confirm that Kyle Larson and I believe one other driver, yes, one other driver would elect to pit for whatever reason. That decision doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I can confirm Joey Logano remains in the race. So Logano's still racing, but just from the back now, Shane Van Gisbergen doesn't go on the restart. We got 38 laps to go, but clear on the inside if we want it. We're absolutely going to take it on this run into turn 1. So Kyle Larson gives up the lead to the number 9, his teammate there of Chase Elliott, who we talked about last episode. I mean, he won last episode in Las Vegas, but he had, had a pretty quiet season beforehand. Now he shows up a week later after that race, and here he is running up here in the mix again. Justin Haley into second. How about Austin Cindric into third for Meyershank Racing? What a race they are having there, as we're passing the 36 of Michael McDowell. His first race in a Cup car in quite some time. Retired, at the end of, I think it was season 1 or 2. I can't even remember which one. But he has been out of a Cup Series car for a considerable amount of time here. Now to the inside of the number 11 again of Corey Heim, who continues to have an impressive day here from Phoenix Raceway. We slide across his nose, back up the track. He would get to my inside. We would continue wheel to wheel with the number 11 on the exit of turn 4, lap 74, coming to 75. That leaves us 35 laps of racing to go. So not a lot of time. We do a switchback on the 11. Back up his inside, having a great little battle right here until I overshoot the corner. And here comes Kyle Busch now to take us 3 wide. He'll take the position on the exit of turn 2. Busch from 11th to 8th, just like that, or sorry, 10th to 8th now, as we now continue to pass that number 11 of Corey Heim, but he is not making it easy. We're not making it easy. Everybody fighting really hard here today from Phoenix Raceway now. Elliott and Haley looking to both run away in the distance, as Cindric has a really, competitive car for that team standards, but is still a bit slow in holding up some cars in front now. Chastain would eventually get by me for 9th place, so we drop down to P10. What a back and forth race here with strategy and whatnot. That's been really, really interesting here. Now lap 77 though, up the track almost into the outside wall, and that opens the door for Corey Heim as well as Bubba Wallace to go through on the inside. Now we continue to struggle with the handling of the car. This is so bad, James.
I know, man, just hang in there.
Early last season, we had an emergency meeting as a team. Joe Gibbs Racing, we were struggling on the 1.5 miles, and we had an emergency meeting after a few of them, and we realized the issue, and we corrected that issue. I think it's time for an emergency meeting just for the team everywhere. We're struggling on all these tracks, short tracks, intermediates. I mean, we were great on a road course, but outside of that, it doesn't seem like it matters where we go. We just don't have the speed that we need. Pit stop's about to kick off as well. We're about to see the leaders come in a few laps earlier likely than us. Here comes Ryan Blaney in the number 12 pitting right now on lap 87. I would expect to see Elliott and many others pit very soon, maybe on this lap right here. Starting lap 88, Chase Elliott, in fact, going to give up the lead. He's bringing Justin Haley with him. Kyle Busch will go back around and take the lead. How about Busch working his way forward? Byron, Busher, Heim, all in front of us making pit stops as well. We could run, a good 6 or 7 more laps, but we're not going to. I feel like we're just going to give up too much, and our tires are down to 12% on the right rear. So we're going to pit in a few moments here now on lap 89. Coming out of turn 2, we'll come into the pit box as well, and we'll join some of these cars in front of us here. So green flag pit stop cycle, we don't get it a whole lot, but with the 35% race mod, it does allow us to see it a lot more often than we used to. But making a final adjustment, just a Hail Mary type adjustment, and that was actually loosening up the car quite significantly. So it ends up being a 15.1 second stop to get 4 tires and Sunoco fuel in the car, and we'll get back rolling here now with this fresh Goodyear rubber. We exit P20 just in front of Corey Heim, actually, who's having all types of issues there, reacting to me exiting the pits, but we'll come out in front of the Rookie of the Year contender for 2311 now, and this is where it's going to get interesting. So Kyle Busch and others are stretching this run out a little bit. Kyle Larson can go a little bit further again as we continue to struggle with that just plowing issue that we've had all race long. But anybody that's going to pit now is going to be taking 2 tires only. So they're going to be in the pit lane for a lot less time. Kyle Busch just gave up the lead to pit. Christopher Bell will follow soon after. I believe Bell was actually one of the drivers that pitted with Kyle Larson when that caution came out. But you see more drivers in the pits right here on our left side. So Kyle Busch comes out in front of me. Ty Gibbs comes out right there in front of us as well. Bell still yet to pit, so we are currently 1 lap down. We do not want to see a caution. We're waiting for this pit cycle to still fully cycle out, which it's doing right here. We're now up to P18, passing William Sawalich, but you can see how close Sawalich is because he took 2 tires. Tyler Reddick just came out 2 cars ahead of us in that blue car up there in the distance because he took 2 tires. He was actually able to get in front of me. So obviously, just a magnitude of things that just don't really seem to be working for us here today. Kyle Larson as well. He is about to be on the pit lane, giving up his position. I still don't understand that strategy to pit on that last caution because you couldn't make it from there. Obviously, he can take less fuel and take 2 tires here. We'll see how it works for him. But Christopher Bell now into the pit lane. So we're back onto the lead lap. There's Larson exiting on the left side right now. So Larson's going to come out a few spots behind us, probably about 17th or so. So we'll see how he works his way forward. No, we won't, because Bubba Wallace crashes into the outside wall. Caution flies, and that is going to make an interesting strategy here as myself and several others that have already put a bunch of laps on these tires are going to pit. Others who haven't put a lot of laps on their tires are going to stay out, including Bell, who was in the pits just when that caution was happening. He has hit a gold mine. Could that be the recipe for victory lane for Christopher Bell? Let's find out. We give up a bunch of track position as we're back underway here from 26th place with what is now only 7 laps of racing to go, but I felt like if we stayed out, there was going to be a lot of cars coming behind us, including Kyle Larson and others. Larson into the top 10 by staying out right there, so I guess pitting later, late as possible, really was the ideal strategy here. Kyle Busch, though, pitted about 6 laps later than me, which is when I would have had to have pit no matter what, and he pitted as well right there, so we just couldn't really face the tire advantage that the others were going to have. They were going to blow our doors off here. Now we're back underway, though, with 6 to go, 3 wide on the outside with Chastain and Gibbs racing as hard as we can. We have 4 fresh tires. We could maybe get a top 10 out of this, but we run into the back of the 2. Gibbs made it 3 wide with him and moved his way forward. Busch would pass me. I go up the inside. Look at the lead on the track map. Justin Haley to the point. Haley has started on pole. Didn't win any of the stages. Strategy kind of went against him all race long. Suddenly, it looks like it's gone in his favor. Now, as we've passed the 36 of McDowell up the inside of Brad Keselowski with just a few laps to go here from Phoenix Raceway, we find ourselves in the conversation at least to maybe go and get up inside the top 10 before it's over. Coming to 3 to go, and Haley still leads. We pass SVG into P14. Now Gibbs and Ryan Priest just in front. That would turn into Priest very quickly as Gibbs gets past him. So into turn 3, we'll take the 13th position. Gibbs now looking for a pass on the 20 of Bell. And as well, Kyle Busch just up there in front. How about the Myoshank of Austin Cindric? That car is still in the top 10, looking for their first top 10, I believe, since Sonoma was Cindric there. Of course, a road ringer Austin Cindric is. Only 2 laps to go. A top 10's not going to happen for us. It's just simply too out of reach at this point. But how about the 60 of Justin Haley? Hoping it stays green for at least one more set of corners out of turn 4. White flag in the air for RFK's Justin Haley. They just won recently in Bristol with Brad Keselowski. He was able to get the best of me after that late block by Nick Sanchez on my front bumper that completely threw us off. But now Keselowski's team continues to walk the walk, talk the talk as they try to bribe us, try to make us think about coming over to that team, and they certainly do themselves favors when their cars are winning. Justin Haley out of turn 4 turns a miserable season around and wins in Phoenix over Ryan Blaney, William, Byron Briscoe, and Elliott as we cross the stripe for a 13th place finish here, and Haley gets to celebrate his first win since Canada last season. Larson, Heim in P7, Austin Cindric in the top 10, as well us outside of the top 10. The highest finishing JGR car is Gibbs in 11th, and then you got myself just behind Bell there, 12th and 13th. Rounding out the top 20 was Ross Chastain, and then of course, looking towards the bottom of the finishing order, a few DNFs with Sammy Smith, Connor Zelish, and our teammate of Chandler Smith. But as well, looking at the playoff grid, Kyle Larson, of course, he's looking great in the regular season standings, but in the playoffs, it's still myself and Bush at the top. Haley now locks himself in. As you see, Bubba Wallace currently the last driver in the playoffs by 9 points over Todd Gilliland, as he still has a good 33 points over Carson Hocevar. Logano a little ways out as well. Looking at the just overall regular season point standings, Kyle Larson now has an 11-point lead over myself, but Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, all really back into the mix of this thing, and as well can't count out William Byron. Top 10 though rounded out by Christopher Bell. Next episode, anything goes. It's Talladega Super Speedway. Hopefully a good race for us, but it's time for a meeting with Joe Gibbs Racing, which we'll hear about next episode. Thank you for watching and have a great day.